You replied. I carried everything else. The silence started answering first. The strange thing is, the messages never stopped. You still replied. Every text I sent got an answer. No fights. No blocking. No dramatic goodbye. Just answers. And somehow, that hurt more. Because there was a time when every conversation felt like a hallway with many open doors. I'd tell you something small, and you'd ask another question. Then another. And another. The conversation moved on its own. I never had to drag it. I never had to wonder if I was talking too much. Then one day, without any announcement, everything became shorter. Not cold enough to call it distance. Not warm enough to call it closeness. Just different. I'd send a photo of the sky. You'd reply. Looks nice. Nothing after that. No where did you take it? No were you outside? No curiosity. No little hand reaching toward the next sentence. Just a period. And somehow I started noticing things I wish I never noticed. The way your replies arrived quickly but ended immediately. The way conversations suddenly felt like a customer service chat. The way I became responsible for keeping everything alive. I was always finding the next topic. Always asking the next question. Always throwing another small piece of myself into the room, hoping it would make the room feel less empty. Sometimes I'd stare at the keyboard before sending something. Not because I didn't know what to say. Because I was calculating. Would this be interesting enough? Would this get more than one line? Would this make you stay for another minute? And that's when I realized something had changed inside me too. I stopped texting naturally. I started performing. Trying to earn the version of you that used to arrive without effort. One night I caught myself doing something embarrassingly ordinary. I opened our chat. Scrolled up. Read old conversations from months ago. Not the romantic parts. The random parts. The ones where you asked things nobody had to ask. Did you eat yet? Why are you still awake? How did the meeting go? Questions so small they seemed meaningless at the time. But now they looked enormous. Because questions are proof of presence. People ask when they want to stay a little longer. And when the questions disappear, sometimes the person is already halfway gone. I remember sitting on my bed with my charger barely reaching the outlet. The phone at 3%. Reading old messages while pretending I wasn't comparing them to the present. That feeling is difficult to explain. It's not heartbreak. Not exactly. It's more like standing in a house where all the furniture is still there, but somehow nobody lives there anymore. Everything looks familiar. Everything feels different. The hardest part wasn't your short replies. The hardest part was that I couldn't complain about them. Because technically, you were still replying. If I said I missed you, people would say. But they still talk to you. If I said things felt different, people would say. Maybe you're overthinking. So I stayed quiet. I carried a sadness that had no evidence. Nothing dramatic enough to show anyone. Just dozens of tiny moments. A reply without a question. A conversation ending after one sentence. A message that felt complete before it even began. And little by little, I started learning the emotional weight of an empty chat box. I learned how long a minute feels when you're waiting for someone who used to be excited to talk to you. I learned how exhausting it is to always be the one finding another reason to continue. Most of all, I learned that loneliness doesn't always arrive when you're alone. Sometimes it arrives while someone is still answering. Sometimes the loneliest conversations are the ones that technically never ended. There was a point where I stopped checking when you were online. Stopped wondering what you were doing. Stopped creating excuses for the silence between your words. Not because I stopped caring. Because I got tired of translating. Tired of turning short replies into signs of affection. Tired of convincing myself that effort was hidden somewhere I couldn't see. One day I sent a message. You replied. Just like always. A few words. Polite. Normal. Nothing wrong with it. I looked at the screen. Read it twice. And for the first time, I didn't send another question. I didn't search for a new topic. I didn't rescue the conversation. I just put the phone down beside me. The room was quiet. The fan kept spinning above my head. A notification from another app appeared and disappeared. Life continued exactly as it always had. But something inside me finally understood what my mind had been refusing to accept. Sometimes people leave in lowercase letters. No announcement. No final speech. No slammed doors. Just fewer questions. Less curiosity. Less reaching. Until one day you realize the conversation is still alive. And you're the only one breathing into it.